Take like a forest, for example. Take the redwood forest in California. Nothing's ever been applied to that. It regenerates itself, it grows healthy things. That's kind of that broad concept that we're trying to do with farming. So we're trying to make that soil healthier by introducing more beneficial fungi, bacteria, things like that. So the soil feeds on itself, becomes a more natural environment, and in turn allows the plant to produce healthier grain, but also by fighting off disease and using nutrients that are in the soil more efficiently. My name is Doug Martin. I live and farm in Mount Pulaski, Illinois with my wife Erin, my brother and his wife, and my parents.
My name is Derek Martin. I farm with my brother Doug, and we raise corn and soybeans. My brother and I were lucky to be afforded the opportunity to be able to farm on this, and we're seventh generation farmers, and our goal is to be able to make sure we can keep it sustainable for the next generation.
Our dad started no-till farming back in the 80s, and then you look at some of the soil qualities that we see in those farms today, and it's night and day difference versus some farms that have been conventional tilled for years.
And in those years, early years, when I came back to the farm, we were still doing a lot of conventional farming. 4 or 5 years after I started farming, we were still plowing, and we were raising wheat here. We had corn the middle of May that was about knee-high, and we had a huge dust storm. And I was standing out in the middle of the cornfield out here, and the dust was just cutting the corn off of the ground. And that's kind of when I determined that this isn't working. I spent a lot of years researching conservation farming and no-till farming, and attended a lot of national no-till seminars from the No-Till magazine. That's where we gleaned a lot of our information in the early years. At that convention, talking to farmers was probably as beneficial as the seminars that we attended, because farmers are really innovators.
Things have evolved the last couple of years, trying to improve our soil health and things like that. And then ADM's come on board with the regenerations program, promoting and making more people aware of how those practices affect farming and the end product, right, which is our grain and their food products. And just hoping to make food products that we produce healthier and more beneficial to everybody involved. So the practices that we've implemented now, we do a lot of things that were not custom even just 5 years ago. We make our own compost tea. It's made up of thousands of beneficial microbes and fungi and bacteria and things like that help promote soil health and just make the soil a healthier environment for the plant that we're growing, and in turn hope to produce a healthier kernel or grain.
Since we've started the regenerative farming programs, we've been able to cut back on things like NP&K. We've seen better water holding capacity in our soils. We've seen better water infiltration of our soils. We've seen less disease in our soils.
We are trying to eliminate some of the use of some of the synthetic fertilizers and use more biological products that let us access the nutrients and the minerals that are actually in the soil and untie those minerals so that they can go into the corn plant and into the grain. We're not necessarily interested in increasing the yield. We want to be able to keep the same yield and have a better quality product with less expenses.
As far as going forward, I'd like to maybe see, as food traceability gets more of an item, working with ADM and things like that, maybe we have the opportunity someday to say, the grain grown on Martin family farms is got a higher protein content or a higher quality that they're looking for, and we can maybe segregate that a little bit, and it's more beneficial financially for us.
And I guess my aspirations for the future would be that we can get more people on board with this, have more nutritional food, and improve the health in this country and around the world. That's what I would really like to see happen.